Hello there. And thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you've had a lovely week. Thanks for joining in. My name is Pauline Lehman. I'm the founder of Star Reachers Community Initiative, a charity with a mission to raise aspirations and break the cycle of Black people underachievement in education. I have a passion for supporting parents, helping parents raise high achieving children, because I believe that every child has got the potential to do well in school, given the right mindset, the right support, and the right amount of effort. And that is why I'm passionate about talking to parents about being strategically supporting their children's education. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that's very dear and very close to my heart. This week I came across a couple of articles that highlighted the underrepresentation of Black children in Oxford University. So David Lammy, it was an article in which David Lammy had reported, openly criticized Oxford University for not admitting enough Black children. It was highlighted that some colleges, it's a collegiate system, actually do not admit, have not admitted Black children for the past couple of years. And some have admitted as low as one or two students. And so that was the issue that was being discussed in that article. And it is an issue that is very dear to my heart because, as you know, the charity is about helping, positioning strategically positioning, children from BME backgrounds, because I believe that all children have got the same ability. No child is lower in ability than others. It doesn't depend on your ethnicity, on your race. It's about the amount of effort that children put into their work. And that is why I thought I should come on air. Again, it's a topic that is dear to my heart and talk about it. If you're joining us, please just drop a word or two so I can know who's joined us and say hello. Thanks for joining us. So, so I believe that every child can do well and that children should be able to be given the opportunity to have access to the most prestigious institutions. Now, I believe also that with the work and the criticism, David Lammy really hitting hard, is going to cause those universities to start to change their admission policies or, be more open to admit more Black children. Now, when this happens, the question is, are the Black children, our BME children, going to actually take advantage of these opportunities? There's one thing to have an opportunity, and something to take advantage of the opportunity. So are these children going to take advantage of the opportunities? Children need to be able to meet the entry requirements, which ranges from 3 A stars at A levels to 3 A's, depending on the course they are studying. So that is the entry requirement. Now, when the opportunity presents themselves, are the Black children actually going to be able to qualify to actually even be able to apply for these places? So that is what I want to talk about today. It's important for us to, as parents, be able to start to strategically position our children so that when these doors start to open, I believe they are there already. I believe if there are few children in Oxford or Cambridge, it's not because the children are not getting the grades. Some children are getting the grades, but they're actually not applying, to these universities. I've come across students, Black children who've achieved 3 A stars or 1 A and 2 A's at A levels, but they haven't applied to any of these prestigious institutions. And when you ask them why, they say to you, or they feel it's for middle upper class white people, it's not for Black people, there will be a misfit there, and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of issues there. It's not necessarily that Black children are not getting the grades, but they are not actually applying for places in these universities, and that is what I want to talk about today. Now, why? What benefit is there for a student to study in this kind of, or in prestigious elite institutions. We call them in the UK Russell Group, but there are some Russell groups that are more prestigious than others. I must admit, the top ones are more prestigious than others. So what are the benefits of actually studying in such institutions? Now, there's a prestige attached to it. So there's when there's a graduate, from Oxford, Cambridge, just having that on their CV would open them unfathomable doors. And sometimes, it could open them doors into amazing careers, even careers not linked to actually what they have studied. Some employers just would headhunt, people that have studied in such institutions. Also the network. We know that in our day and age, networking is such a powerful tool in helping people make progress. So when a child studies, or student studies at Oxford, Cambridge, or in any of those prestigious universities, they are rubbing shoulders with future leaders. They are rubbing shoulders with people. Hi, Evelyn. Thanks for joining us today. Please, I need your contributions. Those that have joined in, please contribute. I need your comments. I need, people have lots of different ideas. Some parents say, well, a university is a university. It doesn't matter where you study and that kind of thing. So please drop your opinion as we discuss this topic today. So you network. A student studying at Oxford or Cambridge is networking with future leaders. We know that a lot of our MPs, a lot of our ministers, went to these prestigious institutions. Now, if those institutions are prestigious and the elites of the cream of the cream are going into these institutions, why should we not, as a community, strive to have our own children study in such institutions? So that is it. I always think I don't want to settle in the comfort zone. It's always better to push. If there's something good happening somewhere, you want to be there. You want your child to be there and not relegate yourself to, excuses such as, well, university is a university. It doesn't matter where they study and that kind of thing. Now, if we're going to turn around the situation, we've got to be very, very strategic. And these are some things I'm going to be sharing with us. So the first, I'm going to be sharing 6 things with us, to do with strategic positioning. Yes, you have to be strategic. And that is what I admire the Asian community for. They are a very strategic community. If we are strategic, we can, bring about a turnaround. We can overcome that status quo. So the first thing is the mindset. I've said that already. I've mentioned that before. So what is the mindset? It's the mindset of the parents themselves. Parents will say, well, it doesn't matter what university your child goes to. A university is a university. Or you could tell your child maybe, well, those universities are for, for white people. They're for the elites, members of the society. They are for the rich people and that kind of thing. Or, and when we say those sort of things as parents, when we say those sort of things as a community, because these children pick up these ideas at school, their peers are saying these things. They're hearing it. And as I said, I came across some students who they had the entry, the grades to be able to go into these universities, but they felt these universities were not for Black children. They felt they would not fit in that environment. So we need to be able to change our mindset. We need to be able to change the mindset of our children. Tell them that they can achieve anything. They can study in any institution. They should be proud of their identity. There is nothing wrong with being Black. And being Black is not a disadvantage. It is an advantage. You can stand and position yourself for excellence, and there is no limit to what you can achieve. I'll just read what Evelyn says here. A lot of ethnic minority exclusion is due to our lack of awareness and the lack of self-belief. Absolutely, Evelyn. Our children are just as good. Couldn't agree with you more. We need to be more strategic in our thinking. Thanks, Evelyn, for that. I absolutely agree with you, and I really pray that is why I thought come up and talk about this today. So we start to change that negative mindset that is limiting us, that is limiting our children from taking advantage of the opportunities in this country in which we find ourselves. So that is the first thing. If we change our mindset, our children change their mindsets, then the first battle or part of the battle has been won. Number two, by changing the mindset, it's going to create a desire. So to create a desire, you need to help your child to understand the benefits of studying in such institutions. Why do they need to want to study in that kind of institution? I shared some of them. Go online, help them to have a look at the different courses, have a look at the study methods there. Just have a look, get them to open days at these institutions so that they can have first-hand, experience themselves of what happens there, and to see that, yes, there are more white people there, but it is for everybody. And when they go there and they go to other universities, they can compare and they can see the difference. So we need to create that desire for our children to be able to choose such institutions for their tertiary institutions. Now, the third thing is to get your child into good secondary schools and colleges. Now, when we look at statistics, we see that the children are scoring the highest number of A-star and A grades at A levels come from selective schools or come from schools in very, very good neighborhoods. Yeah, so the schools in deprived neighborhoods don't have students scoring as many A-star and A grades, which are the entry requirements. So start off by striving to get your child into a good school. A good school will help your child to be able to be in the right environment to get the best of them come out. They're surrounded by children who want to do well. They're surrounded by children that are motivated, most of them. They're surrounded by children who themselves come from, a decent background where the parents are educated, where the parents, are successful. And so they are aware of success. They want to do well. They're not forcing them. As a teacher, sometimes, in a state school system, you would feel as a teacher you are actually doing more work than the students, because the students don't care. They don't really know where these grades will take them to. So you want to start by positioning your child in a good secondary school. Now, if your child is in a state secondary school, why not choose a selective college for them so that they are positioning them again to be in a good institution that would make it easy for them to maximize their academic potential. So those are the things that as parents we can do. The next thing is predicted grades. A lot of students fall behind because of predictions that are made for them, that do not reflect their true ability. And I always say to students that the only way in the UK educational system you can prove your ability is by scoring well in exams. So when students are in lower six, they do exams. At the end of lower six, they do mock exams. Now, these exam results are what the school puts forward as the predicted grades, or they tell students are their predicted grades for A levels to UCAS. So if a child did not study well, which, to be honest with you, working in school, a lot of students do not give their best, until the actual exam. So the students do not, the results they get in lower six does not reflect their true potential. So encourage your child. In lower six, they need to prove themselves. Those are the predicted grades that will be passed on to UCAS. And that is what will start to limit the children. I've seen children who had incorrect predictions made on them, or predictions made, and eventually at A levels, they did really well. They scored A and A stars. So ensure that you encourage your child to prove their best. Whenever they have an opportunity to do a test, that is their opportunity to show the teacher what they are capable of. I'll just read this comment from Prince. Prince, thanks for joining and thanks for your comment. You're absolutely right. I think it begins with the college. Check school before sending there. The level of school grade matters a lot. Absolutely. So that's what I've just been talking about. Those grades, those predicted grades that either limit a child or enables a child, because when UCAS sends, you send those applications to UCAS and you don't get the A's, there's no way, Oxford is going to even consider your application, or Cambridge to consider your application. So the starting point, it depends on the student. So that is it. Next Exposure, I think I've mentioned it as well. It's important because a lot of black families live within deprived communities where children are surrounded by a lot of unmotivated children who do not care less about even going to university. Now, and those who even want to go to university don't see themselves being able to fit into those elite institutions. So the children within those institutions feel that it's not for them. So it's important for you as a parent to be strategic, to ensure that you expose your child to these institutions or to people who have actually gone to these universities. Now, if you don't know where to find them, I love social media. How are you using social media? Go on Twitter. Look for alumni, black students or black students at Oxford, black students at Cambridge. They're all there on Twitter. Join the association, send a personal message, and you will connect with somebody who went to Oxford, who went to Cambridge, or who went to any university of your choice or of your child's choice. And they can connect with them and they can talk to them. It's important, especially when the mindset is wrong, to have someone else to encourage your child, to tell them, look, I am black. I went to Oxford. I went to Cambridge. I did it. You can do it. So that is really important. Plan trips to Oxford, Cambridge Open Days, and all the other, great elite universities in the UK. Go take your child there. Either you could even start to take them from year 10, 11, upper 6, lower 6. Just take them there. Take trips for them to have a first-hand kind of a bit of an experience of these institutions, to help them to start to change their mind, to break that limiting belief that is hindering them. Please share this video if you find it useful. I think that as a community, we need to work together. We can't hide information. We need to share this information so that people within the community will benefit from it. So attend open days. And finally, the number 6 thing I want to share, that from very early on, look out for the entry requirements. Now, if you want your child to go into one of these elite universities, you don't wait until they get to year 11. A child or a student who has not been used to scoring A star and A grades doesn't just get there in year 11. They would have to work really, really hard to raise themselves up from C and D to A star. So we want to start early. Start from the time they get into secondary school, from the time they get into year 7. Start to challenge them to do their best, to get top marks in their tests, to not settle for average. A child or a student who has been used to scoring top marks from year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 will find it really easy to get those A stars at GCSEs, and it's very, very likely that with a bit more effort will do or get those grades at A level. So start early. Talk to your child about their career choices. Look for universities that offer the best training for these careers. Look for, entry requirements into elite universities. Look out for other skills and attributes that are needed. What are the skills they need? Do they need some work experience in their relevant career? A lot of people do work experience in the wrong area, and that limits them. So if you want to go into medicine, you need to be doing work experience within a caring environment. You need to have spent at least 6 months of work experience. So encourage your child to, have that work experience, develop the skills, get into, leadership roles that are required. When students going into those elite universities, one of the things that they needed is leadership opportunities. Have they taken advantage? Have they gotten themselves involved in leadership? It could be leading maybe a sports team or just starting an initiative. That is what they're looking for. Right. Evelyn says there are also pre-university opportunities for young teens to get enrolled in this top institution. True. My 13-year-old just got a place at Oxford University Computer Science Department for summer camp. Absolutely. I have published a few of those. There are schemes like that. So go all out for it. I mean, it is a partnership between parent and child. You can't leave it to your child. You can't afford to just sit down as a parent and watch your child. Any child that has gone, to excel at anything has had parental support. Now, it saddens me to see some children just, coasting on their own, just journeying on their own. There has to be this parental involvement. Take advantage of mentors. When your child is about to fill in that personal statement, find a mentor, pay for these services. Yes, there is nothing wrong. It's something that as a community we need to be used to doing. Pay for these services. Get a mentor, to help your child through this process. Find out what is happening there. Opportunities like what Evelyn has just written down here for specific subjects. They are all out there. Go and look out for them. Spend time on social media. I believe social media is a great tool. It depends on how people use it. It's a great tool to find out a lot of information. So let's spend the time looking out for useful information. Let me finish reading what Evelyn said here. Okay, so Computer Science Department for summer camps for the next 3 years. Google Oxford University Computer Science Masterclass. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for sharing that. So there are, such opportunities for different courses. You just need to go out there and find out. Get those opportunities, for your child and start to position them. I imagine a 13-year-old already stepping foot into Oxford, Cambridge University. They won't want to study anywhere else. They would see themselves as, once you step in there and you spend 3-4 days, doing, a short program, then your sense of self-belief starts to increase. So let's do everything we can as parents, as a community. I believe that if we're going to change these statistics, we must work as a community. So please share this with, friends, parents who've got children in years 10, 11, 12, these are the crucial years when they need to, be hearing these things and making the right decisions. So I've shared my heart with you again today, and I want to say to you, there is no limit. So let's stop limiting ourselves and let's help our children to change their mindset so that they can go out there and take advantage of all the opportunities within this environment or this country in which we find ourselves. I believe that a child's educational attainment should not be limited by their race, their ethnicity, their socio-economic background, or their postcode. So go out there, support your children, work with your child, work with the school to ensure that your child maximizes their potential. I want to thank you all, great parents, for joining me today. And I want to encourage you, do not relent on supporting your child. Don't give up on your child. There is greatness in your child. You have a great weekend and God bless you richly. Bye-bye.